much, Florina. Thank you for that perspective from Sweden, and thank you for keeping well within time as well. That's always appreciated from a moderator's perspective. Thank you very much. Our next speaker will be Ryan Metcalfe, National Coordinator for KIMO Denmark. KIMO is an international network of more than 80 local municipalities around the North Sea and Baltic Seas that work together to protect Northern Europe's marine environment. And KIMO Denmark has 18 member municipalities. So Ryan will talk about marine litter and plastic pollution incidents on the Danish west coast. Ryan, you have 15 minutes. Please go ahead. You are muted, Ryan. We still can't hear you.
Sorry about that. I had pressed my presentation before I unmuted myself.
Great.
Try this again. Can you see my presentation now?
No, we can see you, but we can't see your screen.
Okay, sorry about that. I guess I have to do this in order here.
Okay, so we can see your slide layout.
Yes, here it goes. There we go.
Perfect.
Okay, it's working. Great. Yes, thank you very much. My name is Ryan Metcalfe. I'm the National Coordinator for KIMO in Denmark, and KIMO is an international and national organization. It's a network of coastal municipalities. We work together to create a better marine environment and coastal environment. There's many aspects of marine pollution that we tackle. At the moment, we're over 80 municipalities, and you also mentioned that we're 18 in Denmark. We have municipalities around the North Sea in many countries and also in the Baltic Sea. The organization itself was founded in 1990, and we've been working on marine pollution issues since. In the early 2000s, we started working more on marine litter with plastic pollution. We were one of the first organizations to look at the economic impacts of marine litter on coastal municipalities, and participated in a European project called Save the North Sea from 2002 to 2004, where we tackled the issue of marine pollution, marine litter on our coasts, and established fishing for litter to remove litter from the sea with fishermen, and also create more awareness about this problem. So I'm going to talk a little bit about beach cleaning in Denmark and monitoring, because we really didn't have too much an effect from the pellets incident. But I'm going to focus a little bit on what we do know, a little bit on paraffin pollution, and another event that could have had wide consequences for all of the northern countries. So marine litter in Denmark on the west coast, we have an average about 1,000 tons of plastic pollution, of marine litter that washes up on our shores per year. And that's a survey that KIMO did from 2010 to 2013. But the last couple of years, we've only had about half that amount. And that's data that we've gotten from Keep Denmark Clean or Keep Denmark Tidy, where they've noticed that the pollution has been less. We tend to get a lot of pollution when there's storm events from the west, blowing these lighter objects that are floating in the water onto the west coast of Denmark. So if the correct wind direction and the correct currents are correct, the ones that push litter and materials onto our shores are that way, then we get more pollution than at other times. But we've noticed the last few years that we've had fewer large pieces of debris, and there have been actually quite a few more volunteers cleaning our beaches. So this is a movement that's growing. So we've had some different incidents in municipalities, and some of that I'll be talking about a little bit later. Keep Denmark Tidy has helped to try and promote volunteerism in Denmark by expanding an initiative about these boxes. Oh, sorry. We've placed boxes along the coast that has created a standardized concept to promote or nudge people to remove plastic litter from the beaches. So there's quite a few people that are aware of this pollution that is washing up on the beaches. There's 2 organizations that have started to recycle some of this litter, make products out of it, and also create awareness locally. We have a group called Race for the Oceans that have been traveling the coast, raising awareness with a relay all the way up the coast. Our Navy has, sorry, get that again, a project called Havmiljøvogter, where they've been placing boxes along the coast with garbage bags in them, so people can easily get a garbage bag and help out with marine pollution. And we in Chemo have our own coastal lottery. So there are quite many people on the coast, and they should be aware if there's a large pollution event. I myself do some monitoring for OSPAR. I have 2 reference beaches, one in Metcalfe, which is closer to the southwest, and then one all the way up in Skagen. So the pictures that I'm showing here are just one of the days that I was out monitoring. We monitor 100 meters of beach. And this was the first time I was out on a Skagen beach about 4 or 5 years ago. And all these things washed up within the 100 meters. And they washed up together with a lot of biological material. So that's what we've been observing, is that when there is all this biological material, we tend to get a lot more plastic pollution. So it could be that they're floating around together in pockets of light materials out in the North Sea. With regards to paraffin, it's been mentioned a few times, both in Norway and in Sweden. The west coast of Denmark tends to get quite a few of these events each year. And Chemo's been pushing awareness about this issue for at least a decade and trying to get some changes made, which have lately gone through. So from the period from 2009 to 2020, we've recorded 58 major pollution events with paraffin, with an overall cost to 11 million Danish crowns. In Denmark, we're very fortunate that paraffin pollution is on par with oil pollution. So the national government reimburses municipalities for the cleanup costs. The worst years for this so far have been 2012 and 2016, where it's been over 3 million kroner per year for reimbursement of these events. And in 2016, that was the first time that we have recorded paraffin pollution on our eastern coasts in the municipality of Guldborgsund. And actually, I also think that at that time there was an event in Sweden. It was in the Baltic region that happened. But thankfully, we were able to, through many years of lobbying through the Danish government and through OSPAR and Helcom, get the IMO to change MARPOL. So from the 1st of January 2021, they will have to, or they have to send their tank washings out, discharge water at the port instead of discharging it out into the sea. So by tracking this for the last couple of years, we've only had 2 events in 2020 and only small pieces of paraffin washed up on the shore in 2021. With regards to the pellets, I guess we have been very lucky in Denmark. It didn't seem to affect our coast very much. And somehow this has bypassed. It could have been a combination of factors. It could have been that we didn't get the storms that have washed it up in our beaches. It could have been that it was in the winter time, so there was less people out, municipal workers or visitors on the beach. But we do have these activities that are happening. We have organizations that are aware of this kind of pollution, and it wasn't being reported. So the authorities first got reports of this late. I actually, the first time I was made aware of it was through Oslofjordens Friluftsråd, where I was contacted to try and map some of this pollution. And by that time, there wasn't very much to find. So we were not aware, and we didn't look for it at the beginning. And then there was very few reports when we did get the information. So it may have bypassed us. It could have gotten, some of it could have gotten covered by sand, and some of it could have gotten displaced through time and floated back to, or floated over to Norway and Sweden. I am finding some pockets of nurdles through my the beach cleaning and through my what's it called, OSPAR monitoring, but it's very little. The one event I want to focus a little bit more on is something that could have affected all of our coastlines. And there was a release of biocarriers from a plant, a salmon farm, in a place called Hvide Sande. If you see the map down in the corner, it's in Ringkøbing Fjord, which is kind of the middle of Jutland on the west coast. It was an accidental release from their waste treatment plant where 500,000 biocarriers were released into the fjord. And that was probably lucky that it was released into the fjord area, because this is not the first time that this has happened for this company. They also had pollution events in 2018 and 2019. And you can see what the biocarriers look like here. They're just very small, round pieces of plastic that are used to increase the surface area of bacteria in their plant, their wastewater. So this, when it did happen, it became quite the sensational story. The media covered it, and the company reacted quite quickly because it was getting so much press. So they coordinated with the local municipality to set some cleanup events. And the municipality also did make a similar mapping like Oslofjordens for the pellets. So it was widely reported, and the cleanup was very successful. So if you could see on this map, the hotspots of where these things were happening, where the biocarriers were washing up, was mostly inside the fjord around the plant, but it did also escape into the North Sea, and we were finding biocarriers all the way up the fjord, all the way up the coast. I even found them on my reference beach up in Skien. But a quick action and a lot of volunteer, a lot of volunteers stopped the spread. But now we're finding some of it is still washing up, so it could be from sunken biocarriers. So if you do find some of these black pieces on your coasts, I would like to know as well. And I did have some communication with Oslofjordens Friluftsråd at the time to let them know that this might be an issue. So what happened afterwards was that the municipality of Ringkøbing was in to talk to the company and see how they could prevent this. And they came up with some solutions where they put this internal barrier into the system so that the biocarriers should not be escaping from their waste treatment system into the fjord. So they have different, it's a series of catchments before it gets to the fjord. This is a barrel type of filter that they put between the water treatment and the outflow pipe. And then on the outflow pipe, they've secured their netting as well. The netting had been torn through frost and winds that winter that it happened. So they're also having they hired people to do some more cleaning, and they've, in cooperation with a local company called Omhu, they do a monthly survey of the fjord area to see if they can catch more of these biocarriers. So if we have some takeaways from some of these incidents, prevention at the source is something that we need to look at. If the municipality had reacted preventatively with this company, they could have maybe caught these biocarriers before it became a problem, since they were aware that it had happened before. I think personally that we need to have more emphasis of awareness on plastics with the municipality, where when they do their environmental permissions and control, they have a stronger focus on this problem, and maybe connect it to the plastic industry's clean sweep program. We need someone to take the lead when there is this kind of an event, some sort of authority to coordinate the monitoring and cleanup. So we need to define who has the responsibility and who can mobilize the resources. Where are the resources and who can mobilize them? Then, as in this incident here, we need to follow up to make changes so that this doesn't happen again. And like Florina said, local authorities need protocols for acute plastic pollution. So these protocols are very timely, and we should be able to put those together so that they know how to act if this happens. And then as well, we need wide awareness of these protocols and that they do exist. So yeah, that's what I have to say today. So thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Ryan. Thank you. We now move on to our last presentation for today.